All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aman Bakshi, and I welcome you to another episode of Enlightening Saturday with Dr. Sudha Acharya. A quick introduction about Dr. Acharya. She is the acting principal of ITL Public School, Dwarka. She's actively involved as a CBSE master trainer with the CBSE department. She is the president of CBSE Sahodaya Southwest Delhi chapter and is the current secretary of National Progressive School Conference. She's also involved in counseling of class 10th and 12th students at various schools across Delhi regarding choice of stream, career options, and mental well-being. Dr. Acharya has numerous awards and honors to her name. Few are CBSE Teachers Award 2017, State Award for Principal 2016, and Brain Feed Award for the Best Principal. A very warm welcome, Dr. Acharya, for today's session. Today we shall be discussing about how to address the social, emotional, and physical well-being of children and teachers. In today's time, due to this pandemic, there has been a major impact on every individual's life, irrespective of the age group. All of us have faced this situation for the first time in our lifespan. Every strata of the society has been impacted. Out of all the individuals, the children have been impacted the most. Looking into how things have changed for students from having good fun and learning at their school for about 7 to 8 hours in a day, meeting friends, going out to play, sharing their experiences with each other. All of that has now shifted to online learning, staying indoors, no play or physical activity. So certainly these are challenging times, and the social, emotional, and the physical well-being has been impacted. So I would today request Dr. Acharya to guide us on how we can address these concerns for the school children and teachers as well. So ma'am, my first question to you would be, why is social emotional well-being important? And how do you promote social emotional learning for the children specifically, directly or indirectly as a school leader?
Okay, it's a very good question. Good afternoon and namaskar to all. What we have done is that during this pandemic time, of course, you were very true that children were the most vulnerable group to go through a field of emotional and social emotional problems, and a lot of mental health problems have arisen. And we could know that they need psychosocial support from teachers, from the school. So what we have done is ACL 360 or social emotional learning. We have incorporated that into our curriculum. It's not like a period or a chapter which is taught. It is in every subject incorporated. It is embedded.
Mm-hmm.
So emotional intelligence, of course, is very, very important for students to adjust to their ecosystem, to help others, to be resilient, to be responsive to adverse situations. Now, so many children are feeling low. They are anxious. There is a lot of uncertainty. When there is uncertainty, it is quite normal to feel low or depressed.
Right.
So first point is identifying your emotion. You
Right.
know that there is a problem, and identifying emotion is the first step.
Sure.
That we need to help our children that if your emotional problem is coming in between in your academic or any other social part of your daily lifestyle, then you must identify, label it, then only we can work towards it.
Right.
When I talk about social emotional intelligence, I'll here talk about personal competency and social competency.
Right.
These are two skills which every student must have. If I talk about personal competency, then I come to self-awareness and self-management. If I talk about social competency, then I'm talking about social awareness and relationship management. So these are basic skills which each child must be empowered with. So in school, there is nothing wrong explicitly if the teacher is making some effort to hone these four skills among the students. So social emotional intelligence is very, very important to build resilience among students, to bounce back, to find out opportunities in adversities, to understand others' feeling, to agree when you agree to disagree, to
Right.
respect others' opinions,
Yes.
So these are very, very important cornerstone of social and emotional intelligence, which is a fundamental part of schooling,
Right.
be it online or offline.
Sure, sure. So I think you have a very valid point that self-awareness is the first step of understanding the social emotional needs of any individual. And with all the problems which are happening, so not just the children, I mean, their parents, their grandparents, everybody in their home are going through such a rough patch that they barely would get any time to kind of self-realize or be self-aware of the fact that where is the problem lying. So I think the self-awareness element is the most important element to kind of first have. And when you realize where the problem is, you actually put those elements in to kind of address the social emotional well-being of a child, right? Great. So I think that's a wonderful insight, ma'am. So my next question will be, see, if you look at about 4 months back, the daily routine of the children involved a lot of physical activity in and outside of the school, which has now come to a screeching halt. And so how do you suggest that we maintain or achieve the physical well-being of the children in these times of crisis? I mean, I know that I would probably want to send my daughter out because physical activity is a very important element for a well-being element. वो कहते हैं ना, एक अच्छी body में एक अच्छा mind होता है. So similarly, but I can't send her out. So how do you think we should be addressing these physical well-being concerns for the children in today's time?
Okay. When I talk about mental well-being, or we are talking a lot about holistic well-being, physical well-being is the first part of mental well-being. Otherwise, we are talking about emotional, psychological, spiritual, intellectual, even environmental and financial well-being. So physical well-being is the most important. As you said, fit body, fit mind. So what we have done in our school is we have given a diet, exercise and sleep hygiene routine. Children should have a schedule. Without school, when there is no school routine, we have developed a new schedule. Even for the young ones, we have developed visual schedule for them. So right in the morning when you come, do some brain gymming or yoga or aerobics or specific body part exercises. Even our Fit India movement is helping us. From CBSE side, every day morning we are getting our videos. Even our physical education teachers also, they are sending these videos day wise. Weekly schedule we have done of physical exercise. Not only exercise, we have also given advice on diet. How can you boost your immunity? Because we heard a lot about boosting immunity during this corona virus time, because it depends a lot more on your immunity level. So how, in what kind of balanced diet you can eat so that you can have your zinc, you have your vitamin C, you can have your vitamin D and other things. So we are helping our children to develop, and they themselves are coming up with a menu where it's a balanced nutritional diet. And most important thing is sleep hygiene. You know, the adolescent group, now they are sleeping around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night, and till 11:30 they are on bed. So parents were asking us, ma'am, they have lost completely their biological clock. So with the consent of our students, we have developed flexible time schedule for them. So be little flexible, but it's not like that you are sitting on sofa whole day and watching TV and there is no schedule. Then there is no, you cannot achieve anything. So basically a schedule gives you a security, a little bit flexibility, and it reduces uncertainty. So regarding physical well-being, we are advising our children how to keep their body and mind fit through brain gymming, through sound yoga, lot of exercises. Even on net also, lot of exercises and videos are available. So children are taking care of that.
So could you throw a little more light, if I've not missed? You said that with the students' consensus, you've developed a flexible timing kind of a schedule, right?
Yes.
What is actually that? I mean,
yeah.
So if you could kind of throw a little more light on that.
See, it depends on passion and interest of every child. Some children are very nature smart. So they are growing microgreens at their home, in the kitchen itself. Some children are language smart, word smart. So they are learning some new language. online courses.
Sure.
Like that only. Some children, they love to write. So
Right.
we are training them creative writing, how to write slam poetry, or come up with digital newspaper. So different kind of activities for with respect to multiple intelligence. Every child learns with the preferred intelligence. So
Right.
we have to map these children, find out their strength, find out their interest and passion, and then develop the schedule. That's why I said, unless they are involved in this scheduling, it cannot be implemented. So whatever we have done, even you said physical well-being, I am talking about digital well-being also.
Right.
Because online or screen time is getting much more. So children are getting really, there are a lot of eye problem, headaches, and other problems are coming up. Parents are telling us. So we are telling them, advising them to reduce the passive screen time.
Sure.
If online classes you are attending, then look at the greens or far off objects. There are different eye exercises also, and don't play then video games and watch movies on your mobile and all. So digital well-being is also very, very important.
Right. And I'm sure with that flexible, coming back to that flexible thing, flexible schedule, a lot of involvement from a school educator's point of view or a teacher's point of view to identify the children with the right multiple intelligences and kind of giving them the required thought processes and the works to be done. So my final question quickly will be that another group of stakeholders who've been really impacted are the school leaders, the teachers in specificity. They had to embrace online teaching, manage their household chores, manage their families. Any thoughts or techniques to address the overall well-being of the teachers? Because they are very important, man. I mean, if they've learned a trick of the trade at this point in time, which is online or blended learning or teaching, when they need to be really well, so that when the schools reopen after a couple of months or probably a little after that, they have their sanity in place to come back to the school, look forward to coming back to the school and kind of restart the teaching and the learning process. So any techniques on how the teacher well-being should be taken care of?
Yeah, I understood your point. You are asking about teacher well-being. I must tell you, teachers are no less than corona warriors, like doctors and nurses. In March, suddenly all school buildings were closed. 300 million school children, Indian school children, were confined to home. Same challenges were present with the teachers also. But very quickly, they could adapt to the situation. You need to connect with them. You need to develop.
I think we lost you in the middle for some time.
Yeah. So what I am doing is that daily I talk to a group of teachers, maybe class 6 teachers together, 7 teachers together. It is connecting, how you engage them productively. Even online yoga sessions I have organized for them. We had music sessions. Occasion we have missed, we dance together online. We had parties also. So I have to, a happy teacher can only create happy classroom. So teachers are very, very important for their well-being. A school leader has most important role of connecting with them and have empathy. They lost their balance between work and home. Now they are working from home, so 24 hours they are available, So that fine balance somewhere they have lost. I need to bring about that. They need their me time or that personal space. So that was initially was a lot of problem, but now slowly we could find out that balance between work time and family time.
Right. So I think you're very right in saying so that, I mean, initially we started calling the doctors and the nurses and everybody in the healthcare department as warriors, as corona warriors. But by and large, after a certain point in time, we
Yeah.
realized that even the teachers were a part of the Corner Warrior whole framework. And I think they've
Yes.
done immense work in kind of imbibing the new technology and kind of doing justice.
One more point I will tell you: teachers are expected to have the best EQ, social emotional intelligence. They are expected to do the role modeling.
Right.
So the other day somebody was asking me, how do you explicitly teach social and emotional intelligence to your children? We do not have to teach actually explicitly when I'm doing some activity where empathy, value of empathy is embedded. Suppose you are teaching science and you are teaching molecules.
Yeah.
Can you ask your students to, can you ask them what forms good partnership? So there itself it is embedded. If I can teach them gratitude, what you are grateful for. If I start my class like that, children, what you are grateful for. I have got such beautiful answers that I am so grateful to my mama, because now she has started cooking my favorite food, that is pasta and chow mein, weekly twice.
Right.
So I am so grateful. My father is not snoring anymore. I love to sleep with him. So I am grateful to him. So these are the things how we can embed in our teaching, that empathy, gratitude, mutual respect, understanding another person's emotion, be there and understand. So these are the skills which we can impact, and teachers are the role models.
Lovely, ma'am. So I think, Dr. Acharya, I'm sure these kind of insights shall really help all the stakeholders sail through these testing times with ease. And finally, I would once again like to thank you for sparing your valuable time to be with us and give your thoughts and your insights for all the stakeholders to get updated on the same. And I wish you all health and safety, and good day for.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a nice day, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.